Hey, it's Bungle and I'm finally back. This time I'll be joining the Domino Draft League, owned and run by Kessler. Draft League is a format where players take turns drafting Pokemon for their teams. Once every player has a full team, they battle using what they know about their opponent's team to try to give them an advantage. In a normal Draft League, you'll be given a certain amount of points to choose your Pokemon. Better Pokemon cost more points, which forces you to think about your picks. But in this league there are no points and the players are limited in a different way. All 18 players are randomly assigned a type, and their first pick has to be a Mon of that primary type. All of their next picks have to have a primary type of the previous pick's secondary type. Might sound confusing, but it'll make sense once I show you. My starting type was Dark, and out of the primary darks, the first one I chose had to be Hydreigon. Hydra packs great utility with Defog, Taunt, and Stealth Rocks, making it a versatile first pick. The high special attack, decent speed, and deep move pool make this Pokemon super useful in almost any team. And its secondary dragon typing also allows me to have strong contenders for my next pick. Latios is a dragon and psychic type which boasts a much better speed stat than Hydra, landing at 110. Although it fills the same role as a special attacking dragon, Latios has a different set of utility that can differentiate it, like Luster Purge, Trick, and Memento. Although Mega Latios was legal in this league, I opted to go for the base form, mainly because of what I want my next pick, a psychic type, to be. Mega Gallade is often regarded as the best legal Mega in draft, right next to Mega Diancie. It has extremely high base stats, including an insane 165 attack and 110 speed. But its strength isn't just due to its high stats, its move pool is huge. Gallade has Swords Dance, Agility, Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, Will-O-Wisp, Knockoff, and so many other useful moves. Not to mention its Psychic and Fighting Stab are just extremely hard to deal with. Lastly, after my two special attackers, I thought a physical attacker like Mega Gallade would put pressure on the opponent's team building, and allow me to crack open steals that my team otherwise had trouble with by dual dragon types. After picking Gallade, I was locked into fighting for my next pick. Things normally would be looking a little sketchy with all four of my first Mons being weak to Fairy. That's where a special rule of this league comes in. When you draft a Mono-type Mon, you have the option to name it as your Terra Captain, and choose one type that it could Terra into. That Terra type also counts as your secondary type, meaning that you could change the type of your next pick. And I couldn't ask for a better Terra Captain than Zamazenta hero form. Zamazenta has, unsurprisingly, legendary base stats, near unkillable in a single hit, and boasting a super high attack and speed, it easily makes up for his lackluster mono fighting type. Zama is a great offensive Mon, being great at running both Choice Scarf and Band, with the option to go for other sets like Iron Press and even Howl. It really has solid coverage too, with Stone Edge and Heavy Slam for flying and fairy types respectively. The Terra type I chose for Zamazenta is Fire. Not only does it block burns from Will-O-Wisp and Flame Body, it allows my team to have a strong fairy resist and pivot into a whole new type all at once. And out of the primary fairy types, one of them stood above the rest. My next Mon of choice was Iron Moth. Grounded poison Pokemon are super important in draft for their ability to set and absorb toxic spikes. If you see your opponent has no poison or a weak one, you're free to set T-Spike on their side of the field, potentially poisoning every single Mon that switches in. And in addition, Iron Moth is another excellent fairy check, so it also has super effective coverage for fairy types. Moth is consistently a top performer in draft too because of its strong coverage options, very high stats, and a versatile move pool with moves like U-Turn and Morning Sun. A primary poison type is up next, and I couldn't think of a better option than Clodsire. Although Hydra and Moth could set rocks and T-Spikes, both were offensive Mons which were better off doing other things. Clodsire gave me a defensive expert which could reset tempo and play a slower game. It also gave me a strong ground type special wall, a role only shared by Hippo and Tinglu. With two phenomenal abilities like Water Absorb and Unaware, Cloud is going to be a necessary blanket check for special attackers that I can't deal with otherwise. Now, my next draft needed to be a ground type, but the best options were long gone by then. So, I chose a Mon that wasn't good by itself, but opened up options for future picks. I'm talking about Stunfisk. Not only does it give me an opening into the rare electric type, but it isn't too bad of a Mon by itself. Ground and electric is a dangerous stab combo, and its status moves can threaten just about anything to try to switch in. It even has a pivot move with Volt Switch to keep it from being a sitting duck when it's on the field. That's enough about Stunfisk. Shifting to an electric type opened up the gates to picking up another powerful Pokemon. Zeraora is a mono electric type, but its stats and move pool make it feel like so much more. Its blazing fast speed and plethora of good moves like Plasma Fists, Bulk Up, Close Combat, and Knockoff make this Pokemon great at bursting progress whenever it hits the field. In addition, because the teams that do opt for ground types end up having two, and many of the good grounds are mono type, lots of teams either have bad grounds or end up lacking them entirely, making Zeraora that much more dangerous. Overall, it's a super strong Pokemon, although I am still stuck on the electric type. To exit the electric type, I chose Rotom Mow, because of its levitate ability, and making sure not to allow my team to be weak to ground types, even after my previous picks. Although my team has lots of mons capable of using Toxic or Thunder Wave, Rotom does have Will-O-Wisp, giving me the ability to burn foes. With Trick and its lower speed, Rotom also finds itself being a good slower pivot option for my team. Rotom can even set screens, allowing me to set up with my nasty team for free. But the main reason I picked it was for its secondary grass typing. Grass will let me pivot into Steel later down the line, which will be invaluable for my Ice, Fairy, and Dragon weaknesses. As for my next grass pick, I did immediately go for a Steel. Because I had Clodsire, a premier hazard setter, I wanted a way to punish Defog, and so I picked Serperior. Serp has the ability Contrary, which in addition to making a dangerous Leaf Storm Sweeper, gives it an evasion boost if it's hit by Defog. One misstep by my opponent could spell doom, with Serp being able to dodge attacks and boost for free. Although my team is already super fast, I would like some slower mons to balance it out. Serp and my next pick were just too good for me to pass up. Second to last is a mon that I didn't really expect to be still around at all, Kartana. Although I didn't need it on my team at that point, it's such an exceptional individual mon that leaving it behind would feel like a waste. Boasting one of the highest physical attack stats in the game and the speed to back it up, Cart is an insanely potent physical sweeper which, unlike Michaelade, can actually hold an item. And lastly, Kartana is secondary steel, allowing me to finally get myself a better ice resist. My final pick for the season is Iron Crown. Although it was really the only good primary steel left, Crown is perfect for what I want to do with my team. With full switch and decent defensive stats, Crown can be a useful pivot if I need it. You can also send off strong future sights which pair well with my strong physical attackers like Zamazenta and Kartana. Crown also gives me a dragon resist with better defensive stats than Cart, allowing me to switch into those dragon types which could threaten it, Kartana or Clodsire. And that's the whole team. Certainly the fastest team I've ever drafted, and I'm not quite proud of the speed tiers, but the individual excellence of all of these mods is super high. I'll be doing a team power rankings and starting with the battle soon, so keep an eye out for that, and thank you for watching. And I put a lot of work into editing it, so I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up.